Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. This is your Sunday forecast for the greater collective, for the highest good. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your support. If you choose to go over to patreon.com and look up Engelgeist, you can choose a level of support there and have a subscription there and get the daily forecast a day early. There's also other readings that are available only over there. This is a timeless reading in the sense that it was originally created for not only Sunday, October 25th, but it also is the underpinning energy of the 25th through the 31st. Oh wow, we end perfectly at the end of the month on the calendar, Sunday to Saturday. So from the 25th through the 31st, each card will represent a couple of days. You may experience all of these cards and then some, or maybe just only one of these cards. You have to kind of take the reading and place it where it fits in your life. If it doesn't fit anywhere in your life, that's completely fine. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means you might be working on something different. That's completely okay. If you do make any decisions in regards to your life, in reference to this reading, in your day-to-day life, that is your responsibility. So please be aware of that. And let's get into the reading. Let's see what's going on. This is our last week of the month of October. October's gone. Kind of groggy this morning. It's really gray and kind of cool out, and so it's sort of that perfect weather for staying in bed. Alright, so let's see what the first card is coming out. So this is Wings. I love this card. I think we had it earlier in the month. To me, I always feel like in some ways this card brings up the sense of departure. It brings up the feelings of freedom. It brings up this energy of lightness when I look at it, because when I think of wings, I think of being able to take flight. It also brings up this sense of sort of desire to me, right? Movement, an upward movement, or movement towards the future. I love that the wings are facing towards the future, right? So I would say that in the early part of this coming week, and certainly in the early part of this day, I would find inspiration in the things that maybe you desire, in the goals that you maybe have. How do we work towards them? How do we sort of give birth to them or take flight with them, right? What steps do we need to take? Even if they're small steps, what steps do we need to take to be able to get there, right? And to not sort of, there just seems to be like a sense of hope with this card, right? There's this uplift or this, sense of possibility with the Wings card, where we get to be, I don't want to say like in charge, but kind of like we get to make the decisions around how we pursue our goals, when we pursue our goals, in what way we go about doing it, that sort of a thing. And we can either be inspired or we can be frustrated. There could be, two different schools of thought around this, or maybe even a bunch of different feelings around these experiences. But overall, I feel like this feels positive to me. It feels full of hope. It feels full of excitement for the future, and the ability to start to begin to, like I said, take steps to put that into reality, right? To start to move towards that. Whatever, I kind of also feel like with this being wings, and it's making me think of like the phrase sort of whatever makes your heart aflutter, right? Whatever excites you in that way, be it, and it can be a multitude of things for different people, right? Some of you, it might be a new creative outlet, or a new job, or maybe a loving relationship, or a better relationship with your parents, whatever it may be, whatever idea that is, allow that something that maybe felt ephemeral or like a dream to become real through utilizing our excitement, our passion, our desire for it, to sort of bring it into existence, if that makes sense, right? Or to start us to taking actual physical steps towards achieving that. Now let's look at the midweek card. So we have Flannery O'Connor, and she is humanity. I think we saw her also this month. Now, I think I remember Flannery's story about being a peacock farmer, if I'm not mistaken. But to me, when I look at this, all right, I feel like, first off, I get this very analytical or air energy, kind of like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Not that that's really important, but it feels very intellectual. It feels very thought. Like, I think it's her glasses that's making me feel that. It's trying to be practical, grounded, scientific about how we're looking at things, right? The barren tree behind her, the kind of earth plane behind her, and the broken egg in her hand make me feel like there might be some sort of lack of hope or faith in what's going on around us at this time. We might be struggling with that. We're trying to maybe be practical. We're trying to find the beauty in things. That's also why she's sort of petting that peacock. A peacock is a very rare and sort not rare, but like a sort of has that rare beauty, right? It's this beautiful like animal that kind of when it shows itself off can be extremely beautiful. And so we're trying to find that beauty. We haven't lost touch with it, right? She has her hand on that. She's sort of trying to care for that. It's some of that beauty and that excitement that we see in the wings card in the beginning of the week, right? There might be something in the midweek that maybe pulls us away from that or reminds us that, with life comes challenges, right? But we need to sort of stay focused on the fact that we can get there. We need to be practical, um, uh, uh, maybe methodical might be a good word. There's definitely like to me, I feel like a brainy energy to her. I think it's just those glasses, but it's making me feel like we need to sort of use our intelligence in the midweek and whatever we're trying to achieve, even if our environment or our surroundings are challenging us in a way or telling us we can't have it. I believe that we can. I believe that Flannery is here to tell us that we can. I feel as though I'm looking at her holding that broken egg and then looking at the peacock, and to me that's sort of like you have a choice. It's sort of like what's that, the Five of Cups energy, right? Where he has three cups spilt in front of him, yet two cups are full behind him, and the river is right there, right? He can fill the cups that are spilt, but he's focused on the spilled cups more so. So with this, the reason why I use that analogy is with Flannery, to me, it looks like Flannery can either look at the beauty of the peacock, at the full-grown bird, or be miserable about the sort of the brokenness of the egg, right? And all are part of the same cycle, in a sense, right? The peacock comes from an egg, sort of thing. So it's like, where in the cycle are we paying our attention to? Where are we looking? How are we seeing our world, and where are we fitting into it? Um, it's going to be important, I think. That's why she's, one of the literary witches, and she's showing up in the midweek. Now let's look at the end of the week. Oh wow, okay. I don't think we've seen her yet. This is new. Let me see here. I need my glasses. So this is Jamaica Kincaid. I love that name. What a fabulous name. And I love that she has got like a lot going on. Let's just say that right out of the bat. I haven't seen her before. So Jamaica, to me, her word is history, right? First off, I'm going to say right out of the gate, she has this a blackbird. To me, I'm going to say it's a crow. I don't know if it's exactly supposed to be a crow, but crow is the element of law or the tradition of law, understanding the law, and we understand the law through our history, both personal, collective, all of that, right? And when I think of this card with Jamaica Kincaid, I love that she sort of has she's holding her hand on this snake, which represents transmutation. We're maybe taking our history, what we've been through, how we've been through it, what we've experienced and learned from it, and transmuting it into new knowledge, right? And that new knowledge to me is this, I believe this is a mango of some sort or a bright piece of fruit, because a very ripe piece of fruit, there are some flies around it, right? It's ready to be eaten. Again, it has that sort of similar message of, do we look at the beauty of the peacock or do we look at the broken egg? Do we look at the ripeness of the mango or do we look at the flies? But the flies are really inconsequential. Jamaica holds all of the power here with the snake of transmutation and the crow of law, right? Jamaica also is sort of coming up out of this world, right? We have this same world, sorry guys, we have the same world behind Flannery, right? Where it looks barren to us. But if we look at it in a sort of practical manner or in an intelligent manner with our own intelligence and our own sort of, air element aspect of the mental realm, and find an ideal way to sort of interact with it. Remember, and the word is humanity here. So if we find a connection to that, the beauty in that, We can then sort of research our history and look at our history. I also love this laundry line. I don't know much about Jamaica Kincaid's writings, but to me this laundry line feels like the history of the past. We're kind of airing it out to dry. We've cleaned up our past. We've come to terms with our past, hopefully, by the end of the week, or situations in the past that maybe have blocked us, or that we've allowed to block us. We're sort of aware of those things, and maybe we've transmuted them. We've found a different way of relating to them. We've certainly hung them up to dry, so to speak. We're no longer allowing those experiences to maybe lead us. We maybe are willing to try new things, be brave, be excited, that sort of a thing. And kind of taking that history and letting it bolster us up or strengthen us into moving on to something new. This bird here, this blackbird, and the snake says to me that whatever our experiences are going forward, we get to create them from a place of strength or power and newness, right? It's like transmuting that history and not allowing it to dictate to us, but maybe us taking it and utilizing it in a different way so that we can reap the benefits or the right fruit. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. Let's see what the Queen of the Moon Oracle has to say. What cycle of the moon are we needing during this week? Okay, interesting. So we have the reigning crescent number 1, which is protection. It's interesting, I'm going to just point this out really quick. We have the wing here, we have the peacock and the egg here. We also have this bird flying this woman in a nest through the night in protection. Wherever we have fear, and this is it's card number 24, which boils to a 6. Sixes are usually beneficial numbers. They tend to be about finding a little bit of balance and settling in a way. When I look at this here, I almost feel like we are going to be, at the beginning of the week, focusing maybe, hopefully, on our desires and the inspiration that brings to us. By the midweek, we may need to be practical. There might be situations or people that stand in the way of that or try and hinder that. By the end of the week, though, we take back our power, so to speak, through that history card of Jamaica Kincaid. And through the entirety of the week, we need to remember that as we travel through this journey, we are protected, right? Even though we're dealing with unprecedented experiences right now. And what I mean by that is sort of like, COVID, mask wearing, unemployment for some of you, maybe breakups or strains on your romantic or familiar relationships just due to the stresses of what's going on in the world. Hope, there could be a loss of hope, or a new set of maybe stress, anxiety, or fear that's coming in or has been coming in for a while. To me, I feel like we get to depart from this a little bit this week if we remember that we are protected, that we are sort of being carried. In a way, I look at this bird as being sort of a sign of spirit, and it's kind of working in the background, carrying this woman through. I do get this sense when I'm looking at this woman in this basket to pay attention to our dreams this week, that there might be information or guidance in our dreams. They could be very powerful for us. But I do feel like we need to remember that no matter what's going on. And I also feel that very much with the two literary witches, both are very smart, intelligent, strong women that are sort of guiding us through, our relations to, the card of humanity and where we fit into all of that and how we perceive that and how we connect to that. And then with history, with Jamaica Kincaid, it feels like sort of like we get to kind of air out and be aware of our history or the experiences we've had in the past, but not necessarily allow them to dictate to us what's going on in the now. Does that make sense? All right, let's see what the grounding stone is. Okay. The grounding stone for the week is joy. So this is going to be ideally the focus this week, right? What brings us joy? And that's sort of that elation that I feel in the wings card. Are we going to feel joy all week long? Maybe not. I feel like Flannery has a little bit of that analytical thought going on, and Jamaica has like this strength. I think that Jamaica definitely that feeling at the end. We're happy, right? We're strong. We understand who we are, what we've been through, and how that helps us, or maybe even hinders us, but we're no longer allowing that hindrance to take place. That's what the laundry lines in the background are to me, right? That's us hanging it out to dry, like, oh no, I've done that already with you. I'm not going to do it again, kind of thing. And we put that behind us, right? And that brings us closer to this joy, right? Remembering that we're protected throughout this entire week, no matter what happens, either on a personal scale or on a global scale, whatever we're watching on the news or within the world. We need to remember that, we are protected, that there is hopefully a plan to all of this chaos that we're all sort of living our way through right now, and reminding ourselves to kind of keep hope, keep joy, keep all of that alive within us, right? As we move forward through this week, I feel like we will be empowered. We will feel a sense of awareness, or a sense of certainly stability by the week's end if we don't feel it in the beginning of the week. I feel like this is a really positive reading, although the only place where I see sort of stuff coming up might be the midweek. The midweek feels like we might be challenged in some way, where we'll have to look at it through a more intelligent lens. But Flannery O'Connor, being a literary witch, she has power, right? She will help us to see the beauty, even in the sort of craziness or the destruction or the sadness or whatever it might be that's challenging us to see the beauty. Does that make sense? Seek your joy this week, guys. Keep that as your main focus. Make that be your goal, and let's see how these cards play out throughout the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your forecast. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow as we build upon all of these cards and energy. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Share it out if you'd like. Leave a comment or question. And please subscribe to the channel. Have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye-bye.